with The Real Cinemas Blackpool and Ballincollig and online at therealpicture.com.
In a world where there's a million movie podcasts, here comes another one from themoviebit.com. This is the podcast.
Christ. Who taught you that technique? A friggin' cheese grater?
Anything gets more than 3 blocks out, you turn it back or you turn it to ash. So you listen to me and you listen well.
Hey everybody, how we doing? Welcome to the podcast from the still alive, themoviebit.com. This is going to be a bit of a different podcast from the usual one. Maybe you're not aware, but we have an interesting article on themoviebit.com right now called That's All We Wrote. My name is Victor Barry. Over there is Tom White.
Hello, everyone.
Obviously, myself and Tom are still alive. I haven't killed Tom. We haven't fallen out or anything like that. So I've written that, and I suppose I wrote that yesterday morning, even though I had the title. That's all we wrote in my head for quite some time. And I've been thinking about doing this for quite some time. Essentially, as of right now, we're doing a podcast. We are probably doing no more written content on themoviebit.com. The podcast links will go there in the episode analysis, so you'll know, okay, this is what this episode is about. You can listen to it on the site. And that's going to happen for the foreseeable future. Tom, is it?
Yes.
But I guess I didn't realize how much the site meant to so many people. And when I posted that yesterday, because I knew what I wanted to say, it didn't take that long to write. Somebody's going, yeah, it fucking read like it didn't take that long to fucking write. And I knew what I wanted to say for quite some time. And I guess when you write this and I hit the publish button, had my finger over the mouse, like, ooh, I was like, fuck it, done. And as the day went on, there was people emailing me, text messages, Facebook messages, Twitter. People genuinely were kind of saddened by the fact that this was going on with the site. I think a lot of people missed the fact that the podcast is going to continue for some bit anyway. We're not sure what's going to happen. Yeah. But it's a decision that I didn't take lightly. If you want to hurl abuse, it's you hurl it at me, not anybody else. And just there was a couple of comments that kind of stuck out for me. Joe Brown left this wonderful comment on the post on the Facebook page. That's a shame. It takes an awful lot of effort to put together highly structured, good content on multiple platforms to the standard that the MovieBit did. I didn't even think we were in a standard.
He's probably reading a different site.
All the hard work is highly commendable and will have its legacy in that the comprehensive coverage is so instantly rereadable and a great capsule shot of the last 8 years of cinema coverage, both domestically and internationally. And when I read that from Jar, it brought a tear to my eye. It literally stopped me in my tracks.
Yeah.
It like a fucking freight train hitting me.
And Vic usually is the freight train.
Yeah, and it floored me. It genuinely floored me, and I obviously got back up off the floor after a small while. And I thanked her for leaving that comment. But that's the kind of sentiment that we've been getting, where it was 8 years, it was 8.5 years. Like the lads at Skin On, who we've been good friends with for quite some time. I was talking to Niall, who's the editor there in Skin On, this morning. They left this lovely post this morning. It is a great sadness that we witnessed the shuttering of the written portion of the movie bit. Over their 8-year run, Vic Barry and Tom White provided great insight, wit and genuine love for film in their writings, and hopefully will continue to do so in their podcasts. Much like us at Skin On, their efforts were true labours of love with all of the contributors over the years, including a brief period where we helped out with content. Funnily enough, Niall from Skin On wrote for the site when we were having our first kid.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so Niall stepped in. That's before you were born, Tom.
Yes, right. You've been doing this site for 500 years.
Given their time freely and without remuneration. That takes its toll as life catches up with you. We wish them all the best of their future endeavours. Thanks for the memories, guys. And that floored me. And I think every comment has completely kind of floored me. And, part of me is going, oh, fucking, did I do the right thing? And these are these are things that I'd always ask. I was the same on Twitter. Alan had this lovely tweet saying, "Gutted to see you go, but thanks for everything. Your site was always a first port of call for reviews. I might not have agreed with some of them, but I knew they were always honest. And thanks for all the screenings. I'm going to miss watching the latest Disney Pixar release, surrounded by a cinema full of kids laughing their asses off on a Sunday morning. Best of luck with your future endeavours, and thanks again." So I suppose we're doing the podcast because it's like therapy, but we're doing the podcast rightly or wrongly, but I think, you know,
Got nothing.
I
This is great audio, Vic.
yeah.
Yeah, no, look.
It's genuinely kind of, you know, when you're fucking talked up, I'm just going to cry into the fucking tissue.
We're doing the podcast, like,
No,
we're doing it because we like doing the podcast.
hang on, let me pick up this fucking random t-shirt that's fucking here. Oh. No, I you know what? I genuinely am speechless because the site was fucking was born out of a love for film. It's a love that I have somewhere fucking deep fucking down. Maybe I need to go down to one of the fucking Skellig Islands and fucking stay there for fucking 10-15 years to re-find it. And that's what it was born out of. You know, and I always remember being in the final of the Web Awards. The site was, I don't know, it wasn't even a year old, and I was flying solo. And everybody was like, "Oh, this is an amazing achievement for somebody just doing it on their own," blah blah blah. And then that's when you know the first writer came on board, who was Fergus, and so on. And it was, so it's fucking hard for me now that I'm talking about it. Yesterday was like the cold fucking calculated killing on, fuck this, I can write this, fucking publish. And now when I kind of read those out loud again, they floor me again, and you know, it's not often that I get speechless, but I have been.
That is so true.
I actually feel like I'm getting a fucking heart attack. Maybe that was from the lunch I had. No, I'm not sure.
No, that was the coffee I gave you before you left.
But it has been a decision that I've not taken lightly, even though, you know, 99% of the work that I did on the site over the last while was back end. Tom would have been up the front, as it were, and we took people on. Some people worked out, some people were amazing, some people left us down. I'm not holding fucking grudges,
Except against me.
yeah. And you know, there's nobody to blame for this. I think it's run its course personally, and by all means, you know, comment, tweet, Facebook, podcast at themoviebit.com. If I'm wrong, but I don't think that the future of film, I think the future of film now online, from a written perspective, from sites like the Movie Bit, I think it's as diluted and as irrelevant and as disposable as the shit that Hollywood has been producing over the last while. So if you look at all the movies that were 2 stars and 3 stars and 1 stars and the real drudge of stuff that's come out, that to me is almost the equivalent of portal websites these days, who, yeah, they do their job, they get paid for it. You know, we never got paid for the Movie Bit, but they just do. They just do for the sake of doing. They're looking at for numbers. There's no passion there. There's no drive there. It's just, oh, look at me, I'm interviewing a celebrity. Oh, look at me. And that's not the reason I packed up. You know, and, you know, I know some of these lads who work on portal sites. More power to them. That's what they do. Fine. But for people who kind of want insightful, humorous, informed, educated critique, opinion, punditry, commentary, observational stuff when it comes to movies, those kind of places are dying. it's not just the movie, but I see it elsewhere. I see it other places where people are more social in the fact that people live and die on Facebook. And, you know, the movie bit lived and died by, it's not dated, but, you know, we did so much. And it is incredibly hard for me to let it go. You know, it really is. And I guess, rightly or wrongly, I'm being selfish in one sense that we're still doing a podcast. I don't know whether that's going to work out or not, but if it doesn't, I'm fucking dreading the idea that we have to do, here's our final podcast. Give me another fucking t-shirt to cry into. But it's very hard to let it go. And I guess that's one of the reasons that paragraph about the podcast was in that's all we wrote article on the site yesterday. So I'm not sure if that's explaining things to people, but essentially for me, I don't have the passion for film anymore that I had, for lots of reasons. Part of it is you just get fed up with the same old shit. I find myself doing other things now in the online space. I find myself incredibly busy with the real world, as it were, with day jobs and kids and wives and all of that jazz.
Night jobs.
You know, and being a hooker, being a gigolo fucking every second Tuesday.
Granted, Cork's worst gigolo, but you keep at it.
I still suck a dick. So I just find it impossible to prioritize and not prioritize stuff when it comes to that. And the thing that was probably the biggest thorn in my side, if there was something going to go, it was always going to be the site, because I felt it's in the guise it was. It's run its course, and I think movies have run their course. I think the future of film definitely seems to be in the home, from the likes of Netflix, from the likes of Amazon, Hulu to a lesser degree, and whatever fucking thing Disney is going to call their streaming thing. I don't know, Mouse House or whatever. I don't know.
Everything.com.
And so that's kind of the reasoning behind it. Is it an excuse? Is it a cop-out? Yeah, I'm sure some people go, yeah, you fucking gave up. I didn't give up. Well, maybe I did, but I feel like that's it. We've run our natural course, as I think a lot of these sites will do over the next short while. You know, you're entitled to your opinion, but obviously to say that you have an opinion means that we've done something right over the last while. And I'm only kind of fucking rambling now, but you know, as I said, we'll do something so people get some kind of insight, because I put my life, blood, sweat and fucking tears into this thing. Tom put life, blood and sweat and fucking tears into it as well. And ultimately, you know, that's us. That's what we did. That's what we do. And I just think people invest their time in the site. They got the personality. They got what we're about. There was no kind of fucking scientific marketing approach to get that. I think just the raw, balls to the wall honesty seemed to resonate with people. And that's why I feel that we don't owe you an explanation. We're a website. You'll get over it, as I'm sure we will. But I believe enough in the people who loved the movie bit that we give you this. You know, so send money and thank you, Ferds, and say if you know Venus. No, but that's why I just want to explain it to people, because you can kind of develop these things out. I don't want to just leave a cold fucking article on a website and then there's, you know, a bunch of podcasts and nobody's like, well, hang on, what the fuck is going on? So that's kind of, you know, that's my take on it. I'm going to leave Tom talk now.
Well, you would have saved yourself a t-shirt if we just continued on the podcast as normal.
Yeah, well, that's fucking true. That's fucking true.
Yeah, like, I think I echo everything Vic says. It was our passion for years. Like, I came on late in the game. What, I've been here 5 years.
It was 5 years you've been here.
Yeah.
Fuck. We'll have to get you a clock or a wristwatch.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it's just, look, life happens. Life happens, and I think that's the best way we can explain this. We're going to plug away with the podcast as best we can.
Well, and it's not as best we can. I know somebody's going, well, your man said he's no more fucking passion for film anymore.
I'm
no,
passionate enough for both of us.
but I think, for a lot of it, I bring in observational stuff and just pure and utter,
Everyone's cunts. That's your observation.
and just pure and utter hatred. Plus,
I'm Felix, your Oscar.
yeah, but it is a passion, and that reminds me. If I go back before Tom came on board, I remember going to, like, when I was on the radio, I would remember finishing the fucking radio show at like 12 o'clock of a Friday. By 1:30, I was in a fucking cinema looking at a new release. If it was a really busy weekend, I was in the same cinema at 4:30 or 5 o'clock for another movie. And if it was an insanely busy weekend, I was also there at 11 o'clock at a late show, and I would have wrote those reviews all in the one day. That's where my passion was, and I felt that, if the fucking review goes up of a Saturday, it's no good. It's got to go up on the day of release. This was back in the day that the studios, we were shitting their shoes. So that's where the passion, and that's what you call passion. And I remember fucking, like late into the Friday night trying to fucking get out a review, and my wife going, what the fuck are you doing? I'm like, look, people, and like 5 people might read it, but as far as I was concerned, that was 5 people who wanted to read it.
Yeah.
And that was kind of insane. Or I remember, like, when Tom came on board, that's what we would do. Tom would do one, I'd do another, we might do 2 or 3 in the same day, and it was predominantly fucking reviews. And that's ultimately where the site was born out of, was reviews, because when I was reviewing stuff, on the radio and even on Twitter and stuff, I needed somewhere to fucking hold all of these, and that's where the movie bit was born. So that's what passion is, and I just don't have that for the site. I don't have it for film as much as I used to. And it's just, I find myself consuming content a lot differently. I guess one of the reasons I see the way things are going is because I'm one of the people that now consumes stuff differently. If I read an article on /film or Collider or Joe Blow or any of the huge movie sites that will stand the test of time to some degree, then I'm probably going to read it on Facebook. But if it's more than like fucking 5 lines and there's not a picture of a cat, I'm like, ugh.
Yeah.
And that's where we're going. We're a lot of people are dumbing down, and I guess that's where I see it going. And don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with that. But you see lots of the big sites who are getting quieter. The film geeks are growing up, or they've been arrested for kidnapping and murdering somebody who they wanted to make their wife. And that's it,
The geeks are going to come out in force. If there's one thing they're good at, is going on the computers and fucking attacking people.
That's about it, Scott Pilgrim, you fucking cunt.
Always with the Scott Pilgrim.
Because it's the best example of it.
Yeah.
It's the best example. Fucking all these geeks turned up to fucking Comic-Con. They got a day pass from mommy, and they fucking blew their jizz on Michael Cera and fucking
Got
Edgar
to see
Wright.
the movie for free.
Did they go to see the movie when it came out? Did they? Fuck, it bombed, and it's one of the best things Edgar Wright ever made.
Yeah. Second best, Baby Driver.
Oh, absolutely. Hence I said one of the things.
Sorry, I didn't hear that. I don't listen to you half the time, so this is going to be a great podcast going forward. You're saying one thing, I'm saying another.
So, I mean, that's kind of
Probably
it.
calling me a cunt.
I don't know. Hopefully that's kind of explained things, what it does mean moving forward. Do we fucking sell the site? Who wants to buy it? Line up, take a ticket. Do we rebrand the podcast? I mean, we've been talking about doing other podcasts for a while. Maybe the podcast may evolve into movies, TVs, video games, comics, the whole pop culture.
So we're just
fucking thing.
reviewing TVs, not TV shows, TVs.
TVs, yeah. So I've got this new Sony 46.5 inch here, and Jesus, that's the LED backlighting panel in it is absolutely fucking superb. You wouldn't get a fucking gamut on it now like you would any. Jesus, I tell you now. I fucking tell you now, that's the one to get. €798.99 fucking cent. Get down to your Best Buy where they'll be selling it in fucking dollars. Fucking great TV to get.
We laugh, but there's a fucking market for a TV podcast
I don't know.
about just TVs.
I don't know. I prefer to go to AV Forums for anything I need when it comes to fucking TV and stuff, or AVS Forums. Yeah. So that's it. It's I found it like a tough day yesterday. I found today equally hard. I underestimated how fucking difficult this would be to do. But moving forward, I guess it's still undecided what fucking happens, whether you know the moviebit.com disappears completely off the face of the earth and it's sold or it's bought or it's just not renewed, and we drive on with the podcast, rebrand the podcast, or we just keep the Movie Bit podcast.
Yeah.
That's something we got ironed out. I apologize for being undecisive about it. I genuinely don't know. I think my gut is telling me that when we look at numbers for the podcast for every episode, which is insane, the amount of people.
Thank you.
Even there was 2 weeks on the trot because it was a bank holiday and I was on holidays or whatever, that we weren't here over the Monday. Like, the amount of downloads from old episodes is fucking insane. It genuinely is insane. You know, the podcast is nearly more successful than the fucking website. So, like, thank you for enduring up to this point. You know, and the podcast will continue. We will keep everyone informed what's going on, but subscribe, and we will go at it. We're going to take a break for a week from the podcast. So we won't be here next Monday, but we'll be here the one after that, and so on. And we'll get back to some kind of normality. But, you know, it's... Let us know. Podcast at themoviebit.com, or hit us up on Twitter just in case fucking the site goes. You know, and that's genuinely kind of where we're at. There's no other hidden agendas. There's nothing. I wonder how this. Well, I don't wonder anymore. I don't give a flying fuck how the studios react. I really see that.
That's your house motto.
They're very unlikely to fucking go, here's content for a fucking podcast, unless you're Chris Hardwick. We don't want to fucking know. And that's fine. I don't care. I think we've given some of the best fucking interviews out there. I don't give a shit when anybody fucking says. You go back and you listen to the amount of Academy Award winners who come on. And it's not just me. Tom's done some mind-blowing interviews in the fucking site. Via text and, of course, on the Audible site as well on podcast. Yeah. But, you know, when you finish an interview and somebody says, listen, that was really, really fucking great. Anytime you need anything, here's my personal email. Here's my fucking phone number. And I could pull out a list of fucking names and emails, but I don't want to do that out of respect for them and for not sounding like a complete and utter fucking asshole. But when you do that and you get that feedback, you know, you go, fuck it, we've done something right here. Like, and I don't think there's been an interview that I haven't got that, and that goes back to the fucking radio days. So there's some of the best stuff out there. If we have more, great. If there's anybody from the studios listening who are probably listening to podcasts from portal sites, wondering fucking about their fucking figures now, going, well, hang on, maybe we should delve a little bit more into their movie section. I'm only being a dick.
But you do it so well.
Yeah, that's that gigolo that's in me, Tom.
Emphasis on the jiggle. I'm sorry, I couldn't let that go.
No, you're right. You're right. It's fucking all about.
And this is the last time you ever heard of Tom. He is currently underneath Vic's house.
So yeah, so that's kind of where we're at. That's where we've been. I'm thankful that everybody's come on the journey this far. The bus hasn't broken fucking down.
Just lost the wheel.
I don't know if we lost the wheel. Somebody say you might have lost the engine. I'd say we stopped for a piss break, to be honest, inside the field.
If we have to go forward Flintstone style, we will.
So I don't know. Does that give people hope in the fact that they still get their movie fix every week, or every other week, or every month, or whatever? Then if it does, then good. And, you know, any feedback that you have, we'd love to hear it. I'm not great at making decisions like this. I constantly dwell over it and go, I've made the wrong decision. But I'd much prefer that we kind of, the site itself went out on top. as it were. You know, it's like fucking, you know, if you've got to put a family pet down, you give them the big steak, you give them their last big day out, and it's heartbreaking. And then you take them to the vet and you get them shot. I suppose when I think about it, yesterday I just got up and shot the fucking dog.
Yeah, most people don't do it themselves, Vic.
But it's been part of my life for so long. So it was me that was going to do it. I was always the one that was going to pull the trigger. And it would have been so easy just to leave it fucking, just drift off and just phase out and fizzle out. And it would have been, but fuck it. You know, we've had so many people along the way that I think we owe them that at least. And I think it was right that would, you know, the tweets and the messages and stuff that we've got over the last 24 hours have been fucking insane. And you know, it does hurt. Because when something is a part of your life, maybe you're like me, but you know, when something is when you've pride and when you have passion and when you have a love for something and you've created it and you fucking worked on a template fucking on Christmas Day a couple of years ago to get it fucking right, while the whole fucking Christmas fell down around you because of you working on a fucking template. When you do all of those things and you fucking drive to junkets, you know, when you stay overnight, when you fucking fly here, when you do this, when you do all of these things out of your own time, out of your own pocket, out of everything. It was, nobody ever fucking paid for anything. It was purely driven by passion, and when that's not there, it's time to call it a fucking, it's time to call it a day. It's time to be fair to an audience. It's time to be fair to the site, because I don't look at the site as just a website. When something has been part of your life for 8 odd years, it's not just it's something, you know. It's funny, actually. I met somebody today and I was talking about a piece of software, and I was explaining how I used it for the site. And as I was saying, I would use blah 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 for the moviebit.com, and it fucking like punched me into the side of the fucking head, where I'm not going to do that anymore. So yeah, I don't know. People have like, look, we came for the tears, we got them, we fucked off like for fucking 4 days
There's
ago.
some sickos out there waiting to get the last drop out of you.
No, I think I've been milked fucking dry. I think I've been milked dry at this stage.
That's just your side business as a gigolo.
Yeah. So I don't know. This is just one of these podcasts where we're telling people what's going on. I'm repeating myself now because I've nothing else to say. Tom.
Yeah.
Fuck DC anyway.
Yeah, fuck DC. We kicked DC while they're down.
Somebody in DC's going, you fucking assholes. Look at you now.
Don't worry, we'll still be around to take you down a peg or two.
Does this mean I have to go to the fucking cinema still?
Yeah.
I don't know. So no, it's been fun.
Definitely. Yeah.
It like the actual writing for the site has been fun. The hate and vitriol and venom that's come from all angles has been fun.
Every so often, this place was therapy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you know what? That's an amazing thing to call something therapy, because it means it had such an impact on what you did. I think there's no negative you can find in that.
No.
Unless you go postal because of the fucking site. And Tom's on top of my house with a fucking gun. Then, you know.
Shooting down your drone.
Yeah. And I suppose...
Hitting you where it hurts.
Yeah. Yeah.
In your barbecue.
But yeah, so, you know, I passion for other things that I'm doing. That's where I'm kind of ultimately going. That, you know... And that's it. Tom, anything else to throw in there?
No, I think you've concisely and...
Because you've been here for 5 years.
5 years.
All I can say is that 5 years has absolutely fucking flown.
Yeah. And like like I said before, like Echo Vic, this was my passion, and it just, like any passion project, it does wane, it does kind of fizzle out. Am I going to miss it? Absolutely, but It's just that this happens, this stuff happens, and like the
Basically, Tom doesn't give a shit. He's delighted.
well, if you do listen back to the some podcast, I'm begging you to end the site. So maybe that's what happened subliminally.
You wore me down, you asshole.
I wore you down. It's all my fault, everyone.
It's always Tom's fucking fault.
No, I got to thank you, everyone. Thank you for listening.
Fuck everyone, just thank me. Just massage my ego.
If you'd let me fucking get that out of the way, I'd move to you. Like, I'll thank everyone for listening, for fucking downloading and like reading, and thanks for Vic giving me this opportunity. I've grown as a writer because of it. Writing is my passion, and he let me have an outlet for that passion for 5 years. And thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
You're fucking welcome. So we're taking a break for a week. Back.
So Vic can ruin more t-shirts.
Yeah. And we're back the following week.
Bigger and better than before, hopefully.
And that's kind of it. So
I'll settle for being here.
Yeah. So we're just going to take a break for a week and
reassess.
It's not even reassess. I think we have an idea where we're going for now. Funny enough, I'd always felt that The Last Jedi would have been the last article, the last fucking site, podcast, everything. Because what I've seen has fucking really fucking put me over the fucking edge. But it wasn't. So, I suppose that's one thing.
You win, Trevorrow. No, wait, she's not
Johnson.
Trevorrow. Johnson, you win, Johnson.
And for the immediate future, I'd never say never win anything on the site, but I think we can spew venom and hatred and positivity and insightful wit, humor, and observations on a podcast probably better than we can write. Because let's face it, putting the word fuck into a sentence 5 times isn't probably the best way of writing or conveying any kind of emotion.
Always use cunt.
Cunt is the other word. So sentence made up of words. Fuck, cunt, fuck. Doesn't sound...
I'll just imagine it like Hodor for cunt.
Someday there'll be a picture of me and Tom under the dictionary's word cunt. Or cunts, maybe. First time I've used that word that I don't like it. That'll change in about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
For anyone that's listening to this, and I know from like...
If you've lasted this long.
How many minutes are we into this fucking eulogy? I can't even see the fucking time. Long enough anyway, says someone. So for anyone that's listening to this going, fucking hell. So many people over the years said, can I write for you? I was always, yes, you can. Do you want to see something? Look, have a fucking go. Or if you want to send me something, fucking send me something. For anyone that's listening to this, that's thinking of trying fucking anything, don't leave something like this knock the enthusiasm out of you. This was something that started, and most good things, if we treated this like a business, we wouldn't even be having this conversation. But most good things come out of passion. If you have a passion for writing, if you have a passion for painting, if you have a passion for fucking programming, if you have a passion for making music, for video, for whatever, anything that's successful is born out of passion and hard work and sheer grit and determination. And a lot of people will tell you, what's the point in doing that? Sure, who's going to read it, or who's going to watch it, or who's going to listen, or who's going to look at it? Fuck all of those people right in their fucking eye. Because if you want to start up your own movie site, if you want to go review movies, go anything, go and fucking do it. When I started this fucking site, everybody was like, sure, what's the point in that? Sure, that's only shit. Sure, you can't write. I still can't write. The fact is, I did it. Sure, the studios won't fucking listen to you. Sure, they'll give you sure all the fucking negativity. And they did fucking listen, and we did forge fucking amazing relationships with the people at Disney and Paramount and Warner Brothers. We didn't exist in the eyes of some fucking people. Sony probably will go, who are they? Whatever, like, and that's fine. But you got to do the work. You got to believe in what you do. You have to believe in yourself to do it. I've never, ever, ever stopped believing in myself for this fucking site. Never stopped believing in Tom. Never stopped believing in anybody that ever wrote for the site. I'm just changing tact for me to go and do something else. And I'm not going to stop at that either until that's successful. We made a successful site for anyone that's out there that's thinking of doing anything. If all you take from this is the words cunt, fuck, and you can do it, then job done. And I think that's important to address that, because, you know, you listen to fucking hours of crying and fellas snotting into t-shirts, you go, sure, fuck it, I wouldn't have a chance. Everybody has a chance. And you should always do the things that you think you can't do, because you can fucking do. And for anyone that wants to write, pick up the fucking keyboard, beat it off your head, pick up the pad, stick the pen in your fucking eye, then write stuff, because you can do it. No matter what anybody says. And if all the fucking trolls come out and go, you're shit, you're this, you're that, bend over, show the trolls your asshole, and tell them go fuck it. Who cares? Who cares? Do what you fucking want to do. Have passion for what you want to do. Love what you want to do. We would have never got this far. We would have never been the #1 rated podcast in the fucking world. We would have never fucking have an award-winning site. We would never have nearly 10,500 articles if we didn't love what we fucking do. And if you want to do something, go do it and love what you fucking do. We're out of here. We'll talk to you in a week. Or is it 2 weeks? It's 2 weeks.
Yeah, 2 weeks.
Yeah, we were never good at maths.
No, never.
Goodbye, everybody.